Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Paranormal, the New Normal. I'm your host, Jeremy, as always, here trying to make the world seem a little more normal. Does it ever really happen? No, this world just gets weirder every freaking day of our lives. We all know this. But welcome, folks. Another Saturday morning where I get to sit down and have a great conversation with somebody. And this week, I am being joined by Scarlett Seebach, human design reader and Reiki master, and a few more things, but we'll find out about all that in a few minutes. How you doing today, Scarlett?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jeremy?
Can't complain. Can't complain. 4 day week weekend this weekend. So yeah,
Nice.
I'll take it. I work too hard, but I don't have time. I don't have time to do podcasts anymore really that often. So, but folks, let's get it on because I'm gonna ask Scarlett the same question we ask everybody when we start the show off. What led you down the road to the paranormal?
I don't think I was ever not on it. I My father is a medium, though he doesn't like to talk about it. And my mother, she sees the future on a fairly regular basis, also doesn't like to talk about it. So I grew up seeing ghosts and the future. And so I've never really known a life that wasn't paranormal. It's always been just with me. It used to drive me insane, and it was not always the best relationship, but it's always been there.
Yeah, literally being born into the paranormal. I, what? How old were you when you first realized it? Like, how old was like your first like experience that actually like sticks out in memory?
I don't really have one that sticks out in memory necessarily. I mean, growing up, my grandfather, who died before I was born, he would visit me every single night. And, he'd just walk down the hallway, he'd tip his hat to me, and, pass right on through. And I didn't find out that was my grandfather until I was probably around 11 or 12 because my dad didn't like to talk about him. I think death was hard for him, even though he was a medium. He was never really great with his gifts. But in any case, I didn't really find out that I wasn't supposed to be doing things like that until I started going to church when I was 5. And, I went to church in the 90s. It was the aftermath of the Satanic Panic. And so they were very into witchcraft is bad. And if you see ghosts, that's bad. If you see the future, that's bad. You're probably evil. Um, so that was kind of my introduction into I probably shouldn't talk about that.
Yes, yes. Gotta love the whole burn the witch era of the '90s. But
hmm
yeah, I tell you that generation. Well, our parents' generation is truly amazing. How many of them have abilities and they just don't want to. They don't make that thing. They don't try to like even
hmm
embrace. They don't embrace it. They don't act like it even happens. And it's just I don't understand that
hmm
generation. The second I have freaking abilities, people are gonna know. Like they're gonna know
Yeah,
because I have
it's
plans.
crazy.
But I mean, it's I got that whole generation. I mean, nobody talked about this stuff when I was a kid. Nobody. I knew nobody that would
Yeah.
actually have a conversation about this other than to avoid the little shop on Main Street. But other than that, it was just yeah, this stuff is for movies and TV shows. But
hmm
no, it's not. We figured that out. I've talked to 300 people that will say it's not just for TV and shows and movies. I swear to God. But
Yeah.
well, let's get into it. When did you start to embrace it? When did you really start to embrace it and like look into it?
Well, I kind of had two sections. So, like, the first was when I was a teenager. I got very into astrology and numerology and all the things, trying to figure stuff out. And, this was when the internet was in its infancy. So, there wasn't a lot of information out
Hmm.
there. And the only thing analog available to me was this Chinese shop that I had to go to that was like 20 miles away in some mall. And it didn't have a lot of information either. So that was the first foray. And then I started taking a medication. And when I started taking this medication, everything stopped.
Hmm.
And I did not realize just how reliant on a lot of my abilities I was until they all just like went away one day. And I found out that they were basically gone because I don't use this as much anymore, but I had this like empathic radar thing going on so that whenever I was driving, I always knew where everybody was on the road. And I had verified this many, many times with my eyes. I always knew without question, 100% accuracy. And then one day, after like the day after I started taking this medication, I pulled out and went to change lanes and didn't feel anybody there. And there was somebody there. Uh,
Ah.
Luckily for me, it was a cop, and so he understood defensive driving, and he just got over into the turn lane so I didn't kill him. And then he pulled me over.
I would imagine. Yes, yes.
Yeah, reasonable. Totally reasonable. I would have pulled me over too. So I just said, thank you so much. I'm so glad you didn't like let me hit you. And I'm so sorry. And that's the only time I've ever gotten pulled over and not gotten a ticket. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, I mean that's luck because normally
yeah.
a cop be pretty pissed in that scenario. Be like, "Oh, I'm giving you something for this," but
Yeah.
uh, so
So mhm.
oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, so I took that medication for a few years because I thought I needed it. And then, about the time that I was pretty sure it was actively killing me and I wasn't going to live much longer if I kept taking it, I finally stopped and set on the very long and arduous process of healing from that medication. And my senses started to reawaken, and I started to get to actually experience life a bit more fully again. And on my journey, I found Reiki and acupuncture and crystals and human design and a bunch of other stuff that I don't offer. And that was really the second wave of figuring stuff out. And the internet had grown quite a bit by then. So the second go around was a lot easier.
I would imagine, yes, because all the websites you're going to find in the first try is just going to be created by some guy in his mom's basement.
Uh
Um,
huh.
especially back then, yeah, and
Hmm.
yeah, and half those led to scary situations. So um, you gotta love early 2000s internet, you really do. But
It was
it, wa-
amazing.
it was a different time. Shout out to steakandcheese.com, just saying. But so many fun videos. But so, yes, you let's talk about the Reiki because you created something called Astral Reiki, and I spent a lot of time with a Reiki master a couple years ago, and
Mhm.
I never heard of Astral Reiki though, and that's I've talked to a lot of freaking people who do Reiki, so that's something. What is that?
Yeah.
What is Astral Reiki?
So I like to talk about astral Reiki in the context of traditional Reiki. So, as you're aware, when you do traditional Reiki, you're basically conducting life force energy or light energy through the top of your head, all the way down to the bottom of your toes, then back up through your heart and out the hands. And then that gets channeled into your client. And that's how traditional Reiki works. It goes all the way through the body before it makes it to the person that the practitioner is actually working on. Now, that is a big part of the reason that in Reiki, they focus so much on making sure your body is clean and that, you focus on eating clean foods, you do your shadow work, you maintain a positive attitude, all of that, because your vibration affects that energy that's coming out of your hands into your clients. So you want to make sure that it's a good one. So, what astral Reiki is I'm actually taking my body out of the equation altogether. So I'm taking my soul or my consciousness or my astral body, light body, whatever it is that you want to call it, and removing it from my physical body and taking it over to where my client is, and then running that life force energy directly through my astral body instead of my physical body. So that gives it a bit more of a cleaner and more intense energy than you might otherwise experience, especially through distance Reiki, but sometimes even through personal in-person Reiki.
Okay. I mean, I is it still as exhausting for the Reiki master as regular Reiki?
No, it's super not. Like,
Ah,
I could sit and do it all day long. It's really nice because most of the time, what's really exhausting when you're doing in-person Reiki, especially, is you're running all that energy through your physical body, and that does take its toll. Even though it's good
yeah.
energy, like, you just have to be facilitating that. But there's also body mechanics that go into it when you come to like positioning and the like, so that you can make sure your body's not being overtaxed, and it's really easy to mess that up. So I get to just sit in a chair and leave my body and run all of that through my astral body, which takes the energy way better. So no, it's not nearly as exhausting.
Which I mean, the reason I asked because I used to see how exhausted my Reiki master would be after a session. Like I would,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be like she just got done the day at the gym or done having some fun time in the bedroom. Like
Oh yeah.
exhausted, like hair to shell and everything else. Like it's just, which yes, and even good energies do cost us a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why we're tired as hell after having a good time too, folks. So, because it takes, yeah. But
Yeah. Yeah, it is
what?
definitely a workout, traditional Reiki.
So
So
when did you start getting into Reiki? Like when did that start becoming a thing?
That was a few years ago now. It was just a little bit before COVID, so I guess that was
Uh,
6 years ago, maybe
hard to
7.
hard to believe it, but yes.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. I never really did the math before, but yeah, when I got off of that medication, I was in a really severe amount of pain. And I sought allopathic doctors because I don't know, I was an idiot. And they sent me to specialist after specialist after specialist. Once I found one that decided that I wasn't crazy or it was all in my head. And eventually, there was one specialist who just looked at me and said, "There's nothing we can do for you." And for me, that was just like this huge moment of relief. It's like, okay, cool, no more needles. Let's go find something else to do. And I started with acupuncture and just reading constantly. And eventually, I found Reiki mentioned in a book. And for the life of me, I had no idea what the book was. And it was the first time I had ever heard of it. And I was like, what on earth is Reiki? We've got to go try this. And never stopped. So,
It, I mean, being on the receiving side of it, it does feel amazing. Like when you're done with it, you
mhm,
feel like a weight has been lifted from you. You will cry, you will sweat, you
mhm.
everything is all the darkness coming out of you. It's I honestly was not a huge believer in it until I had people talking about my podcast all the time. I was like, "Yep, okay." And then when I actually had it done, it was a whole another world. It was just, "Okay, I believe. I believe." Like, it's all it was just one of those moments, like, I mean, fuck, I miss having it done. Like, I was such a happier person, like, the next few days. Like, I had a actual bounce to my step instead of just, like, the weight of the world pushing you down and dragging your feet. It's just
Mm.
like if I had the time. But what are your clients? What do they experience during your Reiki sessions and after? Is it comparable? Astral Reiki has the same effects, or
Yes, astral Reiki has very, very similar effects to an in-person Reiki session. It is significantly more intense than a distance Reiki session. Like, I do not allow my clients to go to the store or anything while they're getting a session from me, like you can with distance Reiki. I do require a Zoom session so I can make sure my client is breathing and is reacting well to the experience overall. Sometimes we got to
yeah,
cry. But yeah, there's
mhm,
all kinds of different things that can happen in a session, and it just very much depends on the client and what's going on with them. I have definitely had people cry on my, Zoom calls. I have had people forget to breathe. I have had people say, "This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me." It definitely runs the gambit. So,
Oh, it does. And I mean, you could
yeah.
feel the energy running through your body. It's insane.
Mhm.
It's unlike anything I've ever experienced in life. Even the best of marijuana cannot compare. But and that's saying something. But
Well, it's an entirely different thing. With marijuana, you're kind of artificially raising your vibration. And yes, you can connect with things on marijuana, but there's not energy conductivity inherently with marijuana. And so it's just different.
no, usually drains the energy out of you. But what can I say? Who needs energy? Who needs energy? But so, how do you treat first timers when they come to you? Like, how do you ease them into this? Because I know a lot of them were like me, probably as skeptical as hell, and were like, I don't know why I'm doing this.
Mm. If I'm super honest, if this is the first time you're ever receiving a Reiki session at all, I wouldn't necessarily recommend me because I don't recommend any distance sessions for first timers at all. You're much better off going into a space that your practitioner has created for you because it's like a whole experience. It's more tangible in all ways. And I think it's an easier introduction to the process to see someone in person. I'm really more for people who have been doing it for a little bit and are looking for something different. But if you do want to see me for the first time, you certainly can. I won't stop you. And what I like to do whenever I'm seeing a client for the first time is actually get their human design chart because that actually gives me a really good baseline for their energy sensitivity and how much energy they can really take.
Yes,
Like,
which I'm sorry.
mhm.
No, please.
Oh no, go ahead.
I mean, it's actually a good segue. I was gonna say because I want to talk about the human design reading part because I've had a few human design readers on, and it's always their view of the world is always so different because of what they experience when they read people's human designs. Like it's almost like
Mhm.
it's almost like seeing like cheating, looking into the playbook a little bit, like oh
Mhm.
that. But so for those who don't know, what does a human design reader do?
So, a human design reader is a little bit like an astrologist, but we're basically working with the instruction manual for your body. It's very much this is how your body works, and this is how it's going to work best. And that's really the main thing with human design. It's got this thing called your strategy and your authority. And that's what most of us go over very first thing because that's like the basis for how you're going to best make decisions in the most aligned way. And what I love about your strategy and authority is it's actually an internal process. You don't source that externally. You're not asking somebody to make this decision for you. You're given a strategy that you can use or you can not use, it's your choice, for making decisions in the most aligned way that you can. And I think that's a beautiful differentiation between like human design and most other systems because most other systems they have like this external reliance component and you're almost beholden to the person who's giving you the reading, but with human design it's not like that. It's very empowering that way.
Exactly. I mean, it's you. Wow, I just so had a train of thought that is gone. Love when that happens. Oh, yeah, that's where I was going. Okay, yeah. Good thing I can have memory sometimes. Uh, so how? What are your beliefs on fate? Because whenever I talk to human design expert, I always gotta say how does it compare to fate? Like the idea that we're fated to do things in life. I mean, I kind of want to hear what you
Hmm.
I kind of want to hear what you think. I want to hear what you think before I put what I think out there, but I want to hear what you think.
So, fate's a complicated topic. And I think my views on faith are always probably going to be colored by my Christian upbringing
Oh,
because,
fate. T-E. Fate. Fate,
yeah,
not
that
fate.
too.
Oh, okay. I thought I said faith.
FATE. I'm going to get there.
Okay, okay, yeah. All right. They sound similar, so I was like, whoops.
Yes, totally get it. You know, that's probably also a thing. But in the Christian upbringing that I had, it was through Presbyterianism. And Presbyterians believe in something called predestination. See, I got there.
Ah,
And that is very much like, you know, everything you do is predetermined, and there's no really any such thing as free will. So automatically, because I don't really believe anything those people have to say, I find that suspect immediately. And so I know a lot of people believe in fate, and there's a certain amount of fate that I absolutely do believe in. I think we do have soul contracts that we're here to fulfill. I think we do have stuff that we are here to do. And I do think that there are times when external forces intervene to make sure that we're at the right place at the right time. However, I think to believe that literally everything is predetermined and everything happens for a reason is just a little too comforting to be true.
is it comforting though? That's
I think people think that it is. People say it as if it's supposed to be comforting. And, you know, I think to completely discount the concept of chaos and discount the concept of something happening randomly is to discount the entire reason that we're here, which is to have experience. And if we are basically just tiny expressions of the universe experiencing itself, why on earth would the universe always want to know what's going to happen? Then it would never really get to learn from something unexpected.
yeah. I that makes sense. I mean, my personal view, and I'll make this short because my listeners have heard this 1,000 times, but I mean, I definitely believe there's fate. Just, but it's not 100% guaranteed fate. There, I like to use the cartoon movie Hercules as my comparison and my actual imagery for this, because
Okay.
I think there are those golden lines of fate that can't be cut, that can't be changed.
Mhm.
Those are things that are gonna happen to you no matter what you do or how you try to avoid things. It's gonna happen. But I think that's very minimal threads in our life. I think most of the threads in our life are just regular spiderweb like threads that can be snapped at a moment's notice when we make a decision to do something else. So I we're
Yeah.
not I mean watch the movie Hercules and you can perfectly see what I mean. But we are not.
Yeah.
I mean, as a '90s kid, that's just where I go. Um, but yeah, I mean, there definitely is some level of fate, and you said soul contracts, which kind of, I mean, are you talking like past life soul contracts, or like,
Sure.
or,
And present life contracts, you know. I mean, there's admin working in the back making sure that everybody's, you know, keeping things up. And you know, we can break those contracts. I have broken soul contracts before. And I think anybody can. It's just then you got to go write new ones.
yeah, I actually have never had anyone say anything about present soul contracts in 300 episodes. That's everybody always talks
Yeah, of
about them
course.
in the past, like in past lives, but no one ever has said like,
Well,
oh, who are we making them with though? That's what I want to fucking know. It's like who are we making them with, and when the hell, and when did I make this?
all kinds of people, you know, but like if we have soul contracts in past lives, why on earth wouldn't we have soul contracts in this one?
I always,
You know?
I mean, I always kind of figure something that happens in between lives. Like it's something like
Oh yeah, that too. I figured that's kind of when we sign them, you know, metaphorically speaking.
it's. I mean,
Um,
I think it's kind of like a video game. Like in between battles, there's a little shop area where you can go buy things to help you in your next life. Like
yeah, and like
that's kind of how I
strategy
picture it.
meetings.
I mean, imagine it as that bar in Monkey Bone if you want to. I mean, that's kind of the way I could think about it. But I
Hmm.
swear to God, being a '90s kid is just so much shit. but there's something for everything. I can't help it. So, have you done any past life reading, or is that just something you never really delved into?
Like past life readings for other people or for myself?
Either, I guess.
Well, I suppose I actually have done both now that I think about it. I don't do past life regressions for people professionally, but I have done them on like a couple of friends. And I certainly have experienced past lives for my own self on multiple occasions. So, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I I actually had someone come on the show and do a past life reading for me, and yeah, some interesting stuff. Some interesting stuff. What can I say? I I don't know. I gotta get a real one done though, where I could like actually be like put under hypnosis and like see things. Like I want to see the imagery. I don't want to just
Yeah.
I don't want to just hear about it because that's like listening to radio. Who the hell wants that? I want to watch the video.
Yeah.
But
I've got a friend who does QHHT. I can give you her info if you want. Um,
yeah, possibly. Yeah, time. It's a time thing always.
yeah, there is
Freak.
a time issue.
I mean, it takes hours to do a real one. I know that.
It does.
I've been to people telling me like it takes hours. Like you need to be able to like
Mhm.
not be in the world for 3 or 4 hours and just relax. And I'm like,
Yeah, and it's like you do a couple of hours of interview before for QHHT. It's like a whole day. It is a process. You have
yeah,
to devote a lot of time to it.
and you don't get a whole day to yourself unless you're working when you have a 1-year-old. So that's the way life goes. But
Yeah. I did a much faster version of it. Mine's not QHHT. It's just a regression. It takes like an hour. But again, not a professional offering.
yeah, exactly. But let's get into crystals because let's get into
Okay.
something that get into something that I really can never put my like full weight behind the belief of. Like I'm always like, there's a little bit there still that's just like, I don't know. But
Hmm.
because you got into crystals at the same time you were starting to get into Reiki, I believe, right?
A little bit after,
Okay,
or a little bit before. It kind of like I kind of dabbled a little bit before I got into Reiki, and then I like dove in headfirst after.
so for those out there in the world that are like me and a wee bit skeptical or more, right? Maybe people out there that are completely skeptical.
Hmm.
Why do you love crystals so much? What drew you to them? No pun intended.
Sure. So I kind I love crystals because I'm a manifester. And that's a human design term, let's be clear. That's a type in human design. And manifestors in human design, we do not have consistent energy. So one of the things that I really love about crystals is that when I'm in the middle of like a creative urge, which looks a whole lot like a manic episode, I can pour some of my energy into a crystal, and then that crystal will hold on to the energy of that urge for me and like carry that energy into like the fakeness of consistency for me, so I can move that energy into like advertising and that kind of thing, and like do a better job of informing. They do a lot of other things too. Like I'm holding on to a piece of fluorite right now. This helps me concentrate and helps me stay calmer. Without this, I would actually be much less calm. And so that's a big reason that I love crystals so much is they kind of help me manufacture consistency.
Which there are so many different types of crystals out there. There's so many different abilities these different ones have.
Hmm.
Suppose supposedly, from what I've been told.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say folks I've experienced with it because I've held crystals. I'm just like I get nothing. I got nothing. like it's and
They're
I mean
not for everybody.
yeah. I think your mind has to work a certain way for them to work. I think you have to be able
Hmm.
to give them the power to work. I think that's what it is. Like you give them the power to work because your mind, certain part of your mind unlocks, and you can let them work for you. I think some people like me just like have that part of their mind completely shut down, and it's just like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. It's not part of our, not in our programming. But I don't. I mean, if they work for me, I freaking love it. I mean, I would carry around a crystal all the goddamn day. And if someone's really pissing you off, you throw it at their head. So there you go. Two uses. But I mean,
That is another thing you can do with them if you want, if you're willing to deal with the consequences.
the right crystals, there ain't gonna be no consequences because you disappear to that. But
I've never seen a crystal that could do that, but or that can help you do that at least.
I mean, if it's heavy enough, and then no one's gonna see anything afterwards if you're alone. I mean, it works. I'm not giving away way to do crime here, folks. But this is not that kind of podcast.
Well, like okay, if we're not making it that kind of podcast, then I won't say it.
Oh, no! Now I'm curious. Please do.
Well, there are some crystals that are water soluble. So, like, in theory, selenite especially, like, you could use it as a weapon. In fact, like, they make selenite knives and the like, so you could use it as a weapon and then dissolve it in water. And then I never actually said that. Please don't actually do that.
Paranormal does not endorse any crimes or
yes,
violence
this
of any
is
kind.
not advice. But like in theory, hypothetically, that never mind.
the cat's right out of the bag. But it's Paranormal does not endorse. Please see your
we do not endorse.
Please see your state representative for any questions. But yeah. God. I don't even top that. I don't know how I would top that. But okay, well I have to ask this because I see you live down south, and I'm like, I ain't gonna say where you live because I don't do that. But
thank you.
It's known as the alien hotspot. So
is it?
The surprise in your voice tells me that I'm going down a road that you haven't explored really.
I had no idea.
There's a certain...
I have never seen a UFO. I'm sorry to disappoint. I had no idea. I live really...
Not what I was going to ask. Not what I was going to ask, actually. But there's a ridge down there that is a hotspot for sightings. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my freaking head, but it's Small Town Monsters did a documentary there. But
okay.
But what I was going to ask is like, because a lot of Reiki workers I've met before, they in their paths and journeys they've crossed with beings not of this world. So I was kind of curious if you ever did.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, absolutely. I routinely work with the Arcturians pretty specifically. They've got this great blue light that I use with pretty much every session because it really helps soothe the nervous system and it helps soothe inflammation. So it's really useful. And whenever I need like a little bit of extra help, then I'll have them pull double duty while I'm doing something else. So yeah, absolutely.
We love the Arcturians on this show. I've had Dean Graves of Chatting with the Arcturians on twice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, if you're never looking at Dean, he has a podcast, he has books. If you're into Arcturians and you don't know who he is, and you're missing out.
Yeah, he wouldn't let me on his show because I don't channel them. So, which I get. It's all good.
Oh, damn, Dean, damn. But he came on my show. I didn't go on his show. But
fair enough.
But he was actually he was my introduction to Arcturians. I never even heard that name until he brought it up, and I was like, "What?" Like who? But I knew I've heard experiences with that physical display of extraterrestrial, so I knew of them, just never heard the name. So it was an enlightening episode. But so yeah, you actually use them. See, that's why I brought it up. I'm like, there's got to be something in there. There's got to be something in there that's extraterrestrial based.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
I actually worked with a Syrian just yesterday too. So.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly in my alternate life, I am a Arcturian currently on a ship who is a map reader. I've been told.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Navigation's important.
I keep looking at the sky like, dude, let's meet. Come on. Take me off here. Get me the fuck off this planet. Please. Do. I would love to go see the stars. Like, I would love to live in space. Please.
Seriously,
But
before this damn thing explodes.
it's yeah, I don't even know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but not right now.
But do you ever get into the well, the physical side of the paranormal, I'll say, like the cryptid side. I mean, especially knowing where you live, it's also a southern Bigfoot hotspot. I know that for a fact
Mhm.
because I follow I don't follow. I'm a moderator for a group of Bigfoot lovers, and the head of it is from that state. So
Hmm, that's cool. I also did not really realize that. Um, I have never experienced anything with Bigfoot, but I am a really significant hotspot in my neighborhood for the Fae. So I have a lot of fairies
oh,
that run in and out of my house and my yard, and there are benefits to letting your yard go to sea. You get more fairies. So we definitely have a lot of those, and I have I had an experience with a less than ideal cryptid as well. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but it's dead now, so it doesn't really matter.
okay. Now I need to know what the hell happened. I
Well,
got
it was an extra dimensional of some kind.
oh
And so like not like real physical, but
oh, they're as
um
physical as everything else. They are just
well, yeah, but not 3D. It's more like 4-ish, so um
eh, I
4D ish kind of thing. But no, it was we were having a bit of a territory dispute. It insisted that the territory that was pretty close to my house was actually its territory, and I disagreed. And so it tried to do like some energetic attack work, and so I burned it up with violet flame. So yeah.
I did not know, folks. I was getting 11 from Stranger Things on my podcast today. I did not know this. What the
It's just life, man.
life? The life I want to live. Yes, that is the life I want to live. God, freaking taking out some freaking demigorgons with that shit. Oh my god. Like,
Well, it's pretty common in the astral work that I do. Like the elimination of parasites is actually a pretty significant part of my job. And any time that I do a session on someone, that's like one of the first things that I check for. And this is just kind of an outgrowth of that kind of thing. So,
okay, so now that just brings up a whole fucking
oh
shitload of
right,
questions. Okay,
okay.
no, I love this because you're basically giving me direction. I freaking love when that happens. So all right, well, if that's something you do in the regular for customers, then
Yes.
what is the creepiest pest you ever had to remove from someone's astral plane?
Ooh, that's got to be the smoke monsters, man. Those things are terrifying, and they're like um oh, okay, so what usually happens, and I do not come across this very often, I've only seen it in a couple of clients, but when you see it you can't unsee it. So what will happen is there's these smoke monster things with these like glowing red eye kind of vibes, and they attach themselves to the soul star chakra and the earth star chakra, and they kind of feed from the top and the bottom, and they're actually connected to these really low vibrational things in the lower astral planes called astral towers. And so you have to kill them like over and over and over again, and you have to like follow them to where their energy source is, which is those astral towers. And you have to take down the astral tower at the same time that you're taking down the smoke monster thingy, and then usually there's like some sort of flying draconian, if I remember correctly, ship that will come over and try to kill you in the process of you trying to kill this. It's like a full-on battle, and it is creepy.
It sounds like living the most real life video game I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. I have to
That
call in a lot of reinforcements when I see those things, because you're like going to war. So
real
it's a
life
lot.
dungeons, real life Dungeons and Dragons, folks. Real life.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, you call in the dragons for that. Like
So are they do they so are they basically all just like a cloud of smoke with red eyes?
more or less. They're so in their baser form when they're just feeding, then they look kind of like hurricanes.
Hmm.
But once they notice that you're there and they go into attack mode, they take on a slightly more humanoid form in order to attack. Because humanoid forms are pretty good at attack. So, and you
Yeah.
know, in the astral plane, you can change your form to whatever you want. So,
I will be goddamn Zilla. Just like those things. Turn me to Godzilla. Like fire breathing and everything. Jesus. It's smoke monsters. You know,
yeah, it's super creepy.
as a smoker, that's just terrifying. But
Well, it's not that kind of smoke. It's more like
yeah.
fire smoke rather than a cigarette or marijuana smoke. So it's darker than cigarette smoke.
Scary movies. Wayne Brothers. Scary movie 6. There you go. There's a scene. There's a scene for you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
quite something.
It sounds horrifying.
It
and,
is.
And what people who have these attached to them, like, what does it do to the person?
That varies somewhat, but what they're basically doing is they're siphoning off all of your life force energy. So most people are slowly dying and or slowly losing their minds.
See, this is why the medical community needs to open up to the western side of the world a little bit here. But because I'm not even going to start on that because I'll be on a rant mode then. But we just went to that in my last podcast, I think, too. But there's so many problems are not physical, and doctors just want to get their insurance payout, so they don't care, and they just keep digging till they can't dig anymore. And then they say, oh well, we can't figure it out. You're gonna die. Have fun. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what they did to me. Most of the time, though, it's not nearly that severe. Most of the time when I'm looking at a parasite, it's just like a little leech thing that's hanging out in somebody's mind. It's usually not that bad, and it's usually very easily removed, not drama.
Oh, a mind leech. I've seen those in Doctor Strange comics. But
oh, really?
oh, yeah. Okay.
I did not read comic books. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's whole Doctor Strange comics where they give you astral plane view because that's what he's seeing. So it's interesting. I think they actually are based on a lot of real life stuff. Like most comic books, it's based on real life stuff. But
sure,
you'd be surprised, honestly, how much they're trying. I swear to God, Stan Lee was trying to tell people things. I swear to God, the extraterrestrial mythology lore in comic books and the extraterrestrial history that a lot of experts will tell you about kind of line up perfectly. Just saying.
I mean,
Stan Lee knew things. I think Stan Lee knew things. I think he talked to government people.
It would not surprise me, like, if the Marvel movies are anything like the comic books, and I know there's a lot of differences. I have heard enough people who read comic books to know that, but there still seems to be just a little bit of overlay even there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of overlay. I mean, trying to cram 60, what the hell am I saying? Trying to cram 100 years of comic book lore into a movie is not simple, and only the diehards like me would watch 5,000 movies. If you're gonna make a movie for each comic book run, we'd be seeing these movies until the end of time, which we probably will be anyway. But we'd be seeing
seriously.
The storylines would be a lot slower moving if they did that, though. A lot slower moving. It wouldn't be 2.5 hours of all this action and adventure and different stuff. It would be, we're gonna go on one little storyline for about 2 hours. Like, let's sit down, go with us on this. But hey, bringing it back to the paranormal here. I mean, actually, I want to hear more. I kind of want to hear more about the Fae, because I don't get enough people on here with Fae experiences. Like, I always ask, and everybody's like, "No." Like, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, any particular species of fae that you know kind of inhabit your area?
If I'm honest, I've never really looked into what they are. I know they're there, but like I don't know. Like I feel like that's kind of like being super interested in your roommate. and,
It's a
and
little
so
less
like
creepy than that. It's a little less creepy than that because they're a whole different species. So that's kind of like gives you the leeway.
fair. They've just been here for so long. I guess I don't know. Guys, would you like I what? Nandorian? What the heck? Okay. Um the one in here right now is something called Nandorian. I don't know what the hell that means,
I've
but
heard it. I've heard the term. I've heard the term.
have you?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'm
What
not.
is that?
I'm not. I was just gonna say I'm not gonna lie and say I know exactly what they are, but I know I've heard the term.
Okay.
I,
Nandorian. That's what's in here right now. Because
yeah.
they do. They hang out in the house. And I mean, they like it when I do podcasts. So there's a couple of them in here right now.
Oh, Nandor. That's why I know it. I mean, it's Nandorian elf is the elf language in Lord of the Rings. That's why I know it.
Well, okay. That's not helpful, dude. Why did you say that?
Well, they
Okay.
probably base they probably base that on a real thing. I mean, we were just talking about
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and it's also a character.
Oh, okay.
It's also a World of Warcraft character too. So I mean, it's a obviously all these places are getting it from somewhere. Like it's not just something they made up.
That's fair. That's fair. But no, I've never really asked before. I probably need to be in a slightly different state of mind to understand what they're saying at the moment. But yeah, for the most part, in my interactions with the Fae, there's like some important things that I think people should probably realize. Uh, One of the things is, you know, you're not supposed to say thank you to the Fae. That's rude, and it does not immediately imply a contract. And the main reason that the Fae are so legalistic with us is because our culture is so transactional and we tend to be so extractive with basically everything. So it's they actually live in a more hit me back kind of culture, but since we don't respect that, they insist on transactional relationships with us.
Oh, I mean, the underpants gnomes need to collect underpants, so it is what it is. South Park reference for those who are too old or young to get that. But uh, see, I have always the Fae have always fascinated me ever since I saw this Monsters and Mysteries in America episode back when I was a teenager with a freaking house
Mm.
that was plagued by a garden gnome, and like
Okay.
yeah, it was it was one of the strangest freaking segments they ever did. And but the laugh they gave the damn gnome in like the reenactment was creepy as shit.
Oh.
It was creepy and funny at the same time. I can still hear it. I can still hear it like in the back of my head all the time. It was just it's classic. But and I mean that and the idea of Fae has always been like just fascinating because these little things living around us that we don't even know are there, or not even that little all
Mhm.
the time from what I've been told. I mean, because I mean elves are technically considered Fae to some people, but yeah, I've had people on who have gnomes or fairies living in their gardens and whatnot, and like they are transactional. Like they always want to be given like little presents and whatnot in order to keep everything, or they're going to destroy where they live. Like it's basically like having some bad tenants in an apartment building, and you gotta kind of like play into it to like keep them happy. It's it can be dangerous from what I've heard, but
It
you don't want to
can
piss them
be.
off. You don't want to piss them. You don't want to piss them off, but.
Yeah,
Uh,
but most of the time it's just because we're being rude um, for their culture. So
we are we are humans. So yes, I can 100% see that. But so
yeah,
can you actually can you physically see them or do you just like mind see them?
that kind of depends on what state of consciousness I'm in. So like right this second. I'd really only be able to see them in my mind's eye. But if I'm in a somewhat meditative state, then no, I can see them physically.
Okay, but I'm kind of curious what the Nandori look like. Like I was like, oh, does she actually see? Has she actually seen them before? But uh,
So the ones in the house, and that's what's in here right this second. In general, they are much smaller than the ones in the yard. So we're only looking at like
uh,
this-ish. So more like pixie size, basically. You've got the standard wings, and the clothes are weird. Like if they choose to wear clothes at all, they're just not the kind of clothes that we would wear. It's stylistically very, very different in that like sometimes they'll just put like a sleeve on their arm, but they don't put anything over their chest. Like it's more like a fashion statement than it is about modesty.
huh. Hmm. Well, I mean, that's the way it was in a lot of ancient cultures. I mean, that's the way it was. It wasn't about the modesty. It was about like
Yeah.
status symbols almost. But
They want me to
oh,
say it's an expression, not
yeah,
a
that makes sense.
covering. So
That makes sense. I mean, well, actually, I mean, you should, you should, you should. Oh, I mean, you should ask them if they know of any larger cryptids in your area. But they're probably traversing the woods. But I would imagine. I mean, I don't know how close you live to woods or anything like that, but
they're
it's
kind of around.
uh,
I don't have to go far.
uh, yeah, that's so. Before we go, actually, since you said you do channel Arcturians, have you have you?
No.
Well, you're not channel. Since you kind of use their energy, have you
Yes. Yes.
have you absorbed anything about 2027 with them, like or any other extraterrestrial species?
No. I, as someone who is precognitive, it's one of those. I find that whenever I see into the future, it's because I'm stressed. So I generally try really hard not to see into the future and regulate my nervous system instead. So sorry, no predictions.
Ah, you're not supposed to hear them anyway. I mean, we all know that. But and I mean, it's you only get them when you're stressed. That seems like the worst time to get them. Like, why would you?
it's it's like this really strange coping mechanism. It's like if I know what the future holds, then I don't have to worry about the future. And yeah, it's not healthy. So
It's yeah. It's. I mean, it's that just would be the last time I'd want. I mean, you're already stressed out. Why the hell would you want to see the future? It's like you're trying to stress me out more. Like, ah,
well, most of the future is like up until recently, the future's been relatively mundane where I am. So,
eh,
um,
I guess so. I mean, yeah. You never know. I don't, then again, I don't know how far you're seeing. Like, and if you're seeing like thousands of years down the road, or like 100 years, or whatever, or a couple days.
it depends on the day.
I mean, that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting thing to do. But where can people find you if they want to enlist your services or ask anything, basically?
So the best place to find me is my website, and that is yourabundant with a T design.com. So yourabundantdesign.com, or if that's too hard to spell, you can also go to astralreiki.net and it'll get you to the same place.
Well, there you go, folks. And of course, for all those lazier ones out there, those links will be in the podcast when it releases someday in the future, because you all know how my release schedule is really backlogged, really backlogged. But I want to thank Scarlett for coming on, folks. It's been a fun episode. This is all soluble from knives. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But our show went to some places today that Paranormal New Normal cannot endorse legally. But do what you want
Yes.
to. And you all know where you can find me if you don't by now. laziness. Listen to the outro. It's all there as always. And I will see you all next weekend. I'll see you all every weekend coming up because I got people. You know, I don't invite you guys. All know I don't invite people. Like I don't look for people to come to my show even anymore. It's when people come to me. I'm not gonna turn them away when they come to me because that's to me. I feel like that's working against fate. But they wouldn't come to me unless they actually had to spread a message on my show. So it works. It works. But I'll see you all next weekend, folks. Who I'm having, I'm not 100% sure. But I'll see you next weekend. Have a good one, everybody.